Absolutely not, the woman laughed when asked if she could spare a liter or two of water, sun-worn wrinkles turning into a wry smile. Been down there 5 days, bone dry, were the remaining bits I could hear as she rolled up her window, to keep the hot, dry air out, but more presumably to avoid getting asked by M, as she was soon to pass. A bit surprised, and more than a bit disappointed, there was nothing to do but smile and wave at the lifted Jeep as it crawled ahead on what could constitute a road if you squinted real hard.
Honestly, easier on bike.
Didn't need your petro-powered water anyway, I mutter, partly glad for the refusal. For this means the quest must continue. Whilst traveling the desert under your own power, what is needed comes into starker view than when immersed in our more conventional societal fabric. You need food, of course. Not much to eat out here, save for the D-spine prickly pear cactus, or the lonesome roaming cattle. Shelter, clearly. The sun beats down, and the winds blow steady, somehow ever in opposition to direction of travel. Finally, the treasure of the desert so valuable, it needs no introduction. With these priorities matched to place, a 20-mile foray ever deeper into the canyons for water by bike and by foot becomes the common-sense choice. In much the way a shuttle must shed propulsion weight to ascend ever higher, the same can be said for our journey plumbing lower, descending among layers of unfathomable time in the hopes of filling our various bladders. From the northwesternmost corner of Washington, over the asphalt rivers that connect the American West, by car and then canine-inspired bus, we shed the dazzling fractal of material and supply chains of modern transport in favor of two wheels.
Dyno power to quad power. Into the desert we go.
Loaded with enough to make a jaunt into the aptly named Maze District of Canyonlands National Park, one of the remotest areas in the lower 48, our supplies soon began to erode away by the wind and the heat and the cold and the exertions inherent to traversing this land.
Few people travel these trails. Registering here won't save you.
Shed more bags, travel more freely. I laugh a bit at my own hubris, for my own under- or overestimations of the environs impending or of my ability to quickly navigate them. There is no quick through the sandy washes or over each ridge, which reveals yet another washboarded climb, or down a road constituted by steep boulders. And in place of water, we drink it all in.
Our old friends, the bovines. Look out for the Opuntia cacti as you tromp away with curious fear. Don't mind us, we'll be passing through here. You! Sign us up, Red Bull. We're ready.
Edward Abbey can much more prosaically sum it up for you than I, but to be immersed sets you merely at the starting line. And here, imbibing in the experience alone will not hydrate sufficiently. The way to water is down. Some coordinates bring us to a curious stone beacon, Chimney Rock, where we find cairns, an unmarked path, and an inkling of hope that the spring ahead is not a myth. Leave the bike, drop the last booster. Collecting rock piles one by one, as though Hansel and Gretel were geologists, also fitting since our park springboard was at Hans Flat Ranger Station. Anticipation heightened with a rapidly drying mouth. And then the cairns simply stopped. Combing the creek bed, pacing with a blank pin on a blank map, bring your topo, kids. The instinctive worry of a hunter-gatherer coming home not just empty-handed, but even emptier stomached than before, quickened my step and the whir of thoughts plinkoing about in my head. But there is no quick here. Channeling the ancestral tracking knowledge I could muster from the depths, I got back on track, fully realizing my self-identity as a self-sufficient outdoors person is subsidized entirely by the inside world. And alas, water.
A Lou's spring. Algae included.
A guy named Lou happened upon this spring a long time ago while doing something almost assuredly more difficult than what we've self-selected as our venturing task. And to him, and the others who guided the path, I feel gratitude. Probably many before him too, but Western history sure loves naming things after old guys out here. Once past the flourishing algae, the sight of clear water in this desert nook allows me to drink my last with abandon before refilling for the days ahead. The weight of tomorrow on today's shoulders once more, having restocked the hourglass for future living and well-being. And for what more can we ask than that? The chance for a better, if not simply a stable, tomorrow. Yet stability is weighed heavy with expectation of what is to come, or what should come. And that is a dangerous game. Rarely does reality match our past vision of the future. So let us hope, for our plans to find fruition, for our bodies to arise to the occasion, and for fortune, of water, of sustenance, of kindness, to be met with our much due respect. Keep a touch of thirst as a reminder of where true wealth lies, and to remember that water does its best when it flows from one to the next.
Just a man in his truck going down some hills. He's got a little ways to go. Oh wait, he's got a lot of ways to go. Down Flint Trail switchbacks. Woo!